Have the noises. Alright. This was your idea, and you were so late to the party.
That's my plan, to trick all of you into going so I can do the big sound, and then I can conquer the final sound, because that's what everyone's gonna remember, you freaking dinguy.
Not sponsored by Truly's.
Not sponsored, but could be.
Yeah.
Truly.
Hit us up.
Also, the Coca-Cola Company.
Are they a Coca-Cola company?
No, but I also have Diet Coke and Angela has Sprite. So.
And capitalism means there's no real choice.
Yeah.
Everything's Coca-Cola.
Coke, and not the
the
drugs.
irony of it. Oh.
Anyway.
Yeah, I think that's not monopolized. I think that's like unionized. They have like drug lords and stuff, you know.
I was gonna go into the intro, but sure.
This is the
making
intro.
the song today.
Oh.
Welcome to Two Halves of a Whole Idiot.
I'm Zach.
I'm Molly.
And I'm a third idiot.
This is Angela.
So technically we're 1.5 idiots.
Yes.
Like 3.5.
One and a third.
What?
Well, I don't know. I was never good at math.
No, it's just...
I've been forced into math.
I'm too bisexual for that.
I'm just stupid. Okay.
Anyway, we have a guest. Angela's my friend.
Hello. I was mentioned last time. No big deal. Twice, but like whatever.
You now have first guest rights, so you can say suck it to the rest of our friends, and you can also say hi to Gary. Hi, Gary.
Hi, Gary.
Hi, Gary.
Is that gonna be a bit of our?
Yeah, saying hi to Gary.
Every episode we say hi to Gary. Got it.
Something for everyone to remember.
God bless you, Gary.
Thanks for helping me with my brain things. Anyway, Zach's gonna go first for once.
Okay, so as I mentioned last time, or at least the first episode, I like the SCP stuff.
SCPs.
I don't know if it's something worthy chanting over, but you know, I appreciate
it's your thing. I want to encourage it.
Okay, well, I appreciate that.
Anytime.
So basically, if you don't know what SCP is, it's an acronym that stands for Secure, Contain, Protect. It's an international organization that is funded by every major government in the world to secure, contain, and protect the public from paranormal or paradimensional threats throughout the universe. And some of these things range from gods that could easily destroy the world, but the whole thing of it is based off probability. And what I'm going to talk about today is tomatoes.
Tomatoes?
Is it the one I'm thinking of?
Probably.
Yay!
I, on the other hand, have no idea.
I'm very happy.
Have you seen creepypasta shit?
Kinda.
Or it's like...
I was protected as a child.
She had Tumblr, but the safe search was on.
Dead ass.
There's a safe search on Tumblr?
Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't know how to turn it off for a really long time. Like, embarrassingly long.
I didn't know until after I was 18, which was, like, the point.
That's so weird. Oh my god, I never knew that. Well, shit. Oh, my world's a bit rocked at the moment. Okay. Wow. So basically, this SCP, SCP-504, every SCP has an object class. It goes from safe, Euclid, to Keter, or Keter, however you want to pronounce it. Safe is obviously safe. It's not going to hurt anybody. You can put it in a box. It's good. Euclid, a bit more dangerous. It could fuck with your shit. It could kill you a lot more easily. Or trap you in some god-awful time loop or some shit like that. Keter is end the world. Like, this thing gets out, everybody's dead. Like...
Super exciting.
Luckily, this one's safe. So...
Yay! Much like Mr. Buscemi.
Yeah. Similar to the cardboard cutout of Steve Buscemi, these tomatoes are genetically identical to any tomato you find. They're indistinguishable. But the only catch with these tomatoes is, if a poor attempt of humor is made, the velocity of these tomatoes will alter by 20 million %. So it will go anywhere. The lowest speed it goes to is 100 miles per hour. And it locates... Lowest is 100 miles per hour.
Okay.
And basically it hones in on whoever said the horrible joke. And just hits him real hard. So I would like to share with you some of the jokes that were,
So you're gonna get bitch slapped by a tomato for a bad joke.
Are there any tomatoes near us?
How does the tomato define the bad joke?
Well, here's this. That's what the SCP Foundation. That's what.
Should I be worried?
That's what this whole testing bit is about. Is like, okay, what is a bad joke? Because we don't know.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Okay, in the testing facility, please tell me they gave them some type of, like, equipment to, like, withstand 100 miles per hour.
Well, typically they would use D-class personnel, which are people who are sentenced to death row, or political prisoners, or just average everyday citizens taken off the street, if desperate enough. And they're basically the human guinea pigs, and so they just told these D-class personnel jokes to tell, and this is how we yield it. So the first one is, what's an archaeologist? Someone whose career is in ruins.
No.
Yeah. And that tomato clocked in at 124 miles per hour. Yeah.
Okay, so there's like a level to how bad these jokes really are.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Wait, I missed that because I missed. How fast was it?
124 miles per hour.
Oh no.
So a little bit worse than a bad joke.
Yeah, like a bad pun, perhaps.
Okay.
And the subject's nose was broken, so that's pretty fun.
Bitch slapped by a tomato.
Yeah.
I love like all the data they collected for this.
Yes.
It's so
Very
wonderful.
Specific.
It satisfies a certain level of ADHD in my brain, and it's like, oh, beautiful.
You get it.
Yeah. So the next one is, 3 tomatoes are walking down the street. A papa tomato, a mama tomato, and the little baby tomato. Baby tomato starts lagging behind. Papa tomato gets angry, goes over to the baby tomato and smushes him and says, "Catch up."
I have to admit, my dad has told me that before. It is a dad, just certified dad joke.
Well, can you guess the velocity?
That has to be fast.
Well, yeah, it's about double the speed. 264 miles per hour.
Wow.
Subject rendered unconscious. So that's a haymaker by a fucking tomato.
It was like offended because it was a tomato joke?
I probably
does.
Because, I mean, at this point, at figuring out that it does this, how does the tomatoes hear?
Exactly.
How do they hear?
Exactly.
Is my question. So clearly they know. They can register. They have sentience.
Exactly. That's the
They'll
thing.
be safe in England. That's a reference from last episode.
Yes, I remember that.
I don't even remember that. Oh,
the lobsters.
Oh, yeah.
They'll be safe.
I mean...
Avid listener.
Hey, thank you, Angela. This is why she gets shout-outs.
True.
And a guest spot.
First guest spot, Angela.
Anyway.
Alright.
Right, so your tomato jokes.
Okay, so this one is, I'll just say it. So, I was going to bed, and my little brother told me, "Good night, don't let the bed bugs stick their, proboscises proboscis in your skin and suck your blood. Pause. Good luck on healthy dermis?"
Hypodermis?
No, it's healthy dermis.
Healthy dermis?
Anyways.
Hypodermis is something? I don't know.
I
think it's
probably.
Maybe. I don't know. This is 2 halves of a whole idiot.
See, and okay, so the joke was that bad. Guess the velocity.
300.
Yeah, above 350.
Okay, well, I don't know how fast that would be, but there's a 2-second delay before the active increase in speed, and it clocked in at, well, we don't know because it's redacted. It broke the sound barrier and killed the subject.
Okay, so fast.
Yeah, very, very fast.
Very
Wow.
fast.
And so basically, this tomato is pretty wild. They've done it with multiple tomatoes, so they had 3 go at once, and they've all really killed stuff. Lots of, and hold on, where was it discovered? I'm trying to look for it. It got lost. Well, I don't know where it was discovered, but the whole thing of it is just fucking ridiculous, and I love the fact that tomatoes
Can hear you.
and judge your jokes and be like, nah, fuck you, I'm giving you a hairline fracture.
But, like, how do they... There's also, like, in the theater world, which I find it so funny that you chose that SCP on the topic of... You had no idea what I was talking about today, but mine has to do with theater. So,
Theater!
so, but, like, you know, the old, like, theater joke where, like, you're bad, boo, and you get tomatoes thrown at you. Like, that's...
I mean, the whole Rotten Tomatoes website? Yeah. Like, I mean...
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
Hey, where'd you get that idea from?
Fuck. I honestly did not even, like, think about that aspect, and now that it's like, oh, okay, it's quite...
But
yeah.
the fact that they're like, like, they're giving up a part of themselves. Because you... Yeah, it is. It's almost like a never-ending bee sting.
I was gonna say that gives me very much, the friend from the B-movie vibes.
Yeah. What happens? Doesn't he get like a, what's it called? Like a sword?
Yeah, those little toothpick swords in his butt. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's a little fucking toothpick thing.
I mean, by that standard, then once he's healed, isn't he like chilling?
I don't know.
Or is he like
He was low
be
stronger.
castrated because he's like doesn't have his poison anymore? He
Is
can't
he really
sting.
a bee?
What defines a bee?
What
in that
defines a
moment?
bee? Oh no.
Fuck, dude.
I
I
What
didn't
defines
realize.
self? No.
Okay, all right. I was gonna say like, all right,
Anyway.
we getting deep into this.
some weird topics. Anyway, is it my turn?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. Oh no, just as my computer turns off its signal.
Boom, boom, boom.
Oh man, I burped, but it didn't really pick it up. Anyway,
Dude.
I know, sadness. But so you guys know how much I'm a patron of the arts. Just kidding. I like Broadway. I'm a nerd. But I'm not that big of a nerd.
Quirky.
I'm quirky. Oh my god, I have Hamilton on vinyl, which is unfortunately not a lie.
I know.
Shut up! I didn't buy it. My aunt bought it for me. Thanks, Aunt Sarah.
Why are you trying to defend yourself like that?
Yeah, that's a how she must have known. Somehow.
Listen.
We're probably like, it's my favorite thing of all time at the moment.
Listen. To quote Beetlejuice the musical, but I was deeper as.
You really went, I'm not that into musicals, let me just quote a musical.
Yeah, I did. Okay, listen. I'm fine. Anyway.
Are you sure about that?
I'm just kidding. So.
Gary!
Yay! But anyway, so mine today is about the Ziegfeld Follies, which was a show that kind of defined a true American Broadway at the time. And their definition of American was so fucking weird. So, so this was the guy, his name was Florenz Ziegfeld Jr., son of German immigrants. He was born on March 21st, and in 1869.
Nice!
I think that will also be a bit. In Chicago, and he was a lover of showmanship. He was a theater man. He's performed in other stuff before, but he liked to produce mostly and direct and all that stuff. And in 1893, his dad encouraged him to go to the World's Fair in Chicago as a business opportunity, just to talk to some people and blah, blah, blah. I don't know why, but in this time period, for people trying to get away from Europe, they were also obsessed with Europeans. Like,
they truly were, yeah.
It was so weird because
such a hypocritical people.
Because he went and he was talking to all these people, and they were mostly European, and like he was talking to all these European showman people, and
well, it is the World Fair. I mean,
yeah, but it was held in Chicago, so
yeah.
You would think that it would be like America, and it was like the turn of the century and all this, or not turn of the century, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's 1869.
Well, yeah, or no,
1869.
No, that's when he was born.
Oh.
It was 1893, so it really was a turn. It was a turn of something. I don't know.
It was about to be the turn of the century.
Yeah, exactly. And so, but he talked to a lot of European performers, and finally he had his first client. And you know, for a guy where this story is about Broadway, I would like you guys to take a guess what his first client's actual thing was. Like, because he didn't sing and he didn't dance. What was his talent?
Oh,
Male prostitute.
Oh, almost.
Really?
That's
like
one
an
half.
escort or something?
That's one half.
Jizz mopper.
No.
Oh.
Disgusting. Anyway, he was a what are they called? The flexi people. Not flexi.
Like strongman?
Yeah, he was a strong man. I couldn't think of the exact word for it. For some reason, I didn't write it down. But he was a strong man. Oh, wait, I did. But he was a strong man, and he was very popular with the ladies, and so one might say. And so he.
What was it? 1869 Arnold Schwarzenegger.
1893. Oh my god.
Whatever time era we're in at the moment. Fuck.
Anyway. But he was.
He's dead. It doesn't matter.
Does because I'm talking about it. No, I'm just kidding.
True.
Not really. I'm just...
Damn, alright.
But, yeah, so his name was Eugene Sandow. So he flexed and he wore as little as possible, up to the point where, like, at one point he was just Adam and Eving it with, like, just a leaf over his man.
Some future
his
music,
man bits.
Magic Mike.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it makes so much sense.
And so he also would let high society ladies into his dressing room, and once one lady found out, all the ladies found out, and because Ziegfeld was his manager, this Ziegfeld made bank. So
quite literally pimping him out.
yeah, he really was. But after a while they were kind of like, all right, muscle man, what else you got? And he's like, that's it. And so
He's like, uh-oh.
yeah, and so Ziegfeld traveled to Paris. This is I did a lot of research into this. Not really. I looked at a couple of articles, but
That's a lot of research in my books.
thank you. I appreciate that.
That's more research than I do on most school papers. So
I did
I'll
this
give you
in less
that.
than 24 hours, so don't take any of this stuff
Again.
to like true word.
Like most of my schoolwork. So you're good.
But yeah, so once that kind of ran dry, he was like, oh, man, what do I do? And so he met Anna Hield, which was a French actress in Paris, and she later went on to be his first wife. But at the time, she said to him, "Why don't you just like work with what you got? Like the girls in America, they're beautiful." She said, to exact, "Your American girls are so beautiful, the most beautiful girls in the world. If you dress them up chic, you'd have a better show than the Follies Regard? I don't know how to say it, it's French. Anyway,
French.
So this is what I find so funny too about this as well. Historians are like, it's so American, it's so this, it's so like America, it's American theater. But Follies literally comes from French. They literally stole a theatrical thing and just put some German immigrant guy's name on it and American. So, but it also kind of like stands for the Broadway scene at the time, which comes into one of my funny notes that I have, which is early Broadway equals South Park loophole, which is like everybody was making fun of everybody. So nobody's feelings were hurt, if that makes sense.
All
so
right.
kind of like how South Park gets away with things now, which is just like, okay, well, if you make fun of everybody, how...
Then it's okay.
Then it's okay, because you're not... It's not like you're not making fun of somebody. It's weird. But so there was a lot... It was kind of a melting pot at the time, and like all these different cultures were coming together and making its own new thing, because there was like Irishmen mingling with like the Spaniards, and Spaniards mingling with like the English, and all. It was all of these like different like things, but like here and now, and like now they're also incorporating. I'm probably butchering this so badly, but they're incorporating everything. They're incorporating a lot of different cultures, and it was so strange. The show itself, the Follies, was made up of beautiful women. It was just all these girls. It was like so it said that he interviewed himself within a year 15,000 women, and he only picked 3,000 to be in the show. So still 3,000. But
So he just made his like whole career out of hot people.
yes, quite literally. So in like the theater world, if you say his name, typically associated with it is glorifying the American girl.
All right.
So yeah, and a big thing that he learned, especially with Eugene, and the ladies, is that sex sells.
Yeah.
No.
That's
What?
the way.
I would have
Bada bang, bada boom.
never have guessed.
Pretty
Yeah.
darn American.
Yeah, America. But
At least we were founded on it, so
Yeah.
can't be too mad.
exactly, and they're like brutally honest about it. But it's so funny because I was watching a video about it, and it was clearly like a made in the early 2000s like VHS PBS documentary. And one of the guys on his name was Hal Prince, and just a director and producer, not of anything, like just director, producer, that's it. Like not of like didn't give him any credit, just very vague. And so I'm like, I don't know how much I take his word for, considering like now modern articles are talking about it, and they're like, this was kind of weird, but like America, so
America, I guess.
yes,
Yeah.
So
That's it.
but good old Hal said, the girls were vaguely undressed, but the whole thing was innocent and very American.
Oh, well, innocent has some very big asterisks by it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. But you want to know how you can get into the Follies? Because these girls were making bank. I will tell you that. As much as I'm, like, kind of a little bit making fun of it, holy smokes. Oh my god. Like, I want to be one of them. I forget that I wrote stuff on the back. Yeah, so he looked for girls with the measurements of 36, 26, 38. So, and you have to be 6 foot tall as well.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah,
Really...
so I mean, for my fellow tall women, like, our time is really shining. But
yes.
as far as the measurements go,
Holy fuck.
as far as the measurements go, though, I don't know how healthy y'all would be. So, not gonna encourage it. But they also have to have the perfect gait, which is like this type of walk that they have to have, and a willingness to pose nude. So
Innocent.
Oh yeah, so innocent, so American.
Well, definitely American.
Definitely American. Nowadays, definitely American. But also, if you wanted to perform in the basically Follies After Dark, but it would,
After Dark.
yeah. So there would be a main show, and then if you wanted to stay up until midnight, you can go to the Midnight Frolic, which is it's kind of like a dance club, but like the 1920s, and it was weird.
Early strip club, basically.
Yeah, kind of. And so, that actually brings me up to one of my images. So if you wanted to work in the Midnight Frolic, it's over here. If you wanted to work in the Midnight Frolic, you can, you have to agree to possibly wearing a costume where your balloons will get popped by cigars by the patrons.
Oh.
Yeah, so just American. And,
Huh.
yeah.
Huh.
So one might ask, what do you get to see but you go to the
Other than
the
women in
Ziegfeld
balloons?
Well, that's only after midnight.
Oh.
That's only after midnight.
Oh.
Remember that. That's only after midnight.
Really considerate about people with latex allergies. Like, hey, you gotta sign a waiver.
So, yeah. But here's the things that you get to see: the novelty acts. Not exactly sure what that was. It looked like a picture of people wrestling. I think it was like the weird floor acrobatics, like, you know, when people like stretch and bend and all that stuff.
Oh, contortionists?
Yeah. And then they had sketches, which was like kind of like a comedy. Oh yeah. So like the main thing of like Broadway at the time that they were like saying like they had the sketches, they had the comedy, they had the dancing and the singing, but they didn't have a mix of all three. And for some reason, instead of being like, hey, let's do a whole show where it combines all three, this guy was kind of more like, hey, let's make a whole show, but it's in sections. Which is so weird because, okay, so it's the novelty, the sketches, and then the last but not least, which I think is the weirdest shit that you would ever pay for, but it's the tableau vivant, which the definition of that is a silent and motionless group of people arranged to represent a scene or incident.
Oh, so that's the improv.
Yeah, so if you've ever
version.
watched The Office, there's an episode where it's called Garden Party, where at one point in time, Dwight gets all, like, the people that he hired to be, like, the waiters and waitresses, and they all just stand there and, like, perform, like, an image of the Last Supper. So it's that, but a huge stage that cost, at the time, it was 100 grand.
That's still a lot.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like, fucking
Yeah.
hell.
So, granted, this show ran for, like, 20 years, like, nonstop, so, but yeah.
They were bringing in the bank.
They were bringing him in the bank, but, yeah, but all these girls, they were loving it. Also, if you hear a small cat in the background, that is Jasper. It is customary you say hello to him. Say hello, Jasper. Or else. I'm just kidding. Maybe. Anyway.
I mean, we'll find you eventually, so...
Eventually.
Yeah.
But, what's it called? But, yeah, so these girls were living it up. Oh my god. If you worked... Okay, so speaking of the Midnight Frolic, because we were very interested in that, so these girls, if you... I have the exact numbers right here, and they were quite impressive. Because, basically, these are the highest paid showgirls. Like, even, like, to this day.
Wow.
Yeah,
Nice.
they got some money from this. No, it's over here. Is it? No, it's in one of these. But basically, they got paid per week.
Oh, no.
Oh yeah, they got paid. They got paid $125 per week, which is $1,500 per week in today's money.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so they got that.
I
but
wish I was making that. That's like more than I make a month.
yeah, I know, right?
Holy
Right.
Wow.
So, but granted, they had 12-hour work days, like 7 days a week. So, not to mention this was also 1920s New York. So think of the mug and just the heat and all that. No air conditioning, just...
And no labor laws.
No labor laws.
Quite yet.
No. And so, yeah, but they got paid really well. And the admirers they had were up the wazoo. When I tell you, they got, like, they got gifts like jewelry, actual jewels, flowers, chocolates, money, and so what I was going to talk about, the Midnight Frolic. If you work the Midnight Frolic, there's one point in the evening where all the girls get voted on, and at one show a week, and then if you got voted, your salary, or if you got voted the prettiest girl that night, your salary got doubled.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, that's some cutthroat American capitalist
That's
competition.
what I'm talking about. America!
I was gonna say I would want to do that, but like I don't know if every week I could be like,
I don't
okay,
know.
who's the prettiest one?
And like, I mean, all of these girls said that they had a great time. I mean, granted,
Okay.
who wouldn't want to be showered
Yeah.
with just jewels and all this stuff? Because like
Real.
that's all they had, and so okay. So one of the girls, Eleanor Dana O'Connell, who then later became Ziegfeld's girlfriend at the age of 17, yeah, said she remembered it fondly and she enjoyed every moment of it. And she said, all I had to do was say I was a Follies and everything was fine.
I want that kind of power.
I know, right?
That's like some great
it's a
Gatsby shit right there.
boss move. But girl,
That is some Gatsby shit. Sorry.
well, I mean, it's the Gatsby time
Yeah.
period, so I mean, you're not wrong. But girls as young as 14 lied about their age to get in. So
How could you even?
Oh, so this woman I have on the screen right here. So she was the last Follies to pass away. I have her name right here. It was Esther Travers. I believe that's how you say it. And so in the background you can kind of see that was her Follies girl image,
Yeah.
and then that's her. But yeah, so she was the last one, unfortunately, to pass away. None of the original Follies are around anymore.
Oh.
I know. Rest in peace, you badass bitches. But yeah,
She looks beautiful.
yeah, she is very pretty. Like even to this day, I mean, look at her.
She aged well.
She aged fantastically. Like she's
Like good for her.
good for her. But yeah, so these girls were well taken care of. They were fine. But yeah, but they had a lot of work to do, but they were all like, nah, this is the life we want to live. And so, but people were just like die hard over this. Like for some reason, I don't know what it was.
I wonder why.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Sex
sells, exactly. Also, there was like a time period where, like, again, I was talking about earlier, the heat, and people were just like, I just need to get out of my house. So, they would also go do that. And then drinking. But, basically the end of the Follies, was in, 1927. And, Prohibition and then the Depression just kind of really just...
Yeah.
He was like, I'm not feeling it anymore. And so, Ziegfeld went off to go do his own thing, and then
His little bride.
no, so he remarried again, and he remarried to oh my god, I had it up earlier, but I can't remember. He remarried to the girl that played Glinda the Good Witch in the original Wizard of Oz.
Oh.
So yeah, so she also was a
Theater
Follies.
comes back.
Yeah,
Oh,
she also was
that's
a Follies. So yeah, so that's
Damn.
fun. Also there's
Wow.
so here's also a picture of the girls when they were practicing out in the heat. So they look at the railing and then look at these heels.
Heels?
That
Oh
makes
my
me
God.
so nervous, but it was so hot that they would have to go practice out on the rooftop. And then here's like another image of some of the girls. Oh yeah, so this is Dolores Costello, a Ziegfeld girl and the grandmother of actress Drew Barrymore. So
Wow.
yeah, right? Yeah, so it's some interesting stuff. And
Damn,
so
Hollywood goes way back.
it really does. It really does. And so yeah, later on in life, he was like, I'm kind of done with this. He went on to produce other things, and then he moved to Hollywood. He later on passed away. I have the date right here. Oh yeah, so it ended in 1927, and then they had a reunion show, kind of thing, I believe, in 1931. And then basically, yeah, and then also there's 2 movies that kind of show it, they recreate it. So if you're really that interested, I don't know how long you want to be. You might want to fast forward through the tableau vivant, blah 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 blah. Because once again, it's just a scene that they all stand still and you just look at it for a while.
Sparta say, art, how dare you!
But, yeah, so he passed away in, 1932 he never fully recovered from an illness he had, and, yeah, and, his, Galinda the Good Witch wife was there quite right after he died, and they were all good, and yeah, I mean, he wasn't the best person either, hence the 17-year-old girlfriend. But I mean, also he brought together a lot of, because one of the things that they were talking about in the video I was watching was that they had the European dramas, they had the sketch comedies of I can't remember where, and they had something else. They just brought it all together, and that's what really you now see that in modern Broadway. It's not just singing, it's not just dancing, it's not just a skit, it's everything.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the first time you saw that. So Broadway, America.
Oh, theater innovations.
Drew Barrymore, Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
One More American.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Goddamn.
Mhm.
It's cool to know that tie.
Mhm.
Wow. It goes back.
Yes. Angela, your turn. Tell us something.
Well, some fun facts really quick before my thing. Other stuff that happened in 1969 was the moon landing and Wendy's came out with their Frosties. Those 2 facts always stick in my brain because it was 1969.
That's a good way to remember it, too.
That is interesting.
69.
Also, he was born in 1869. Sorry.
Oh.
I know 1969. No, I get it.
69 was funny. What
69!
100 years later, it's fine.
It's
It's
fine.
fine.
But, yeah. Anyway.
And then also, if I haven't already told you guys, do you know why there are words that we, data and data, and, words like that where we pronounce it one way and one the other way?
No.
So it depends on whether the word is a noun or a verb. So
How
I'm
is data
collecting...
and data and not in a verb?
Or I record and record. Record.
Okay, that
so
makes
I
sense.
record something,
Mhm.
but it's a record of something.
Mm-hmm. That makes
So
sense.
as an English buff,
English major. An English
Major.
major!
yes, paying so much money
John
to not
Mulaney.
read Jane Austen.
was
Actually, we're
Jane
going to talk about how I didn't read Shakespeare today.
Nice!
Oh, yeah! Welcome to the club!
Yay!
I literally, as an English major, you are required to take the class Shakespeare. So I did a whole class on him.
Oh, God.
I hate that
And-
fucker. Ugh.
Great teacher, fun guy, who's, but
Name? Call him out.
call him out, no. I will not call him out. He is the only reason I passed one of my classes, and I do not want to reject
You're I don't wanna.
You were really cool.
You know who you are.
Academic dishonesty, 5 years later, because they find a YouTube video.
Yes, I know.
Oh shit, we've been found!
We have an audience? Yay!
That's all
Our
that really
first
matters.
legal
is that I
battle!
Our first guest and our first legal battle. Thanks, Angela.
I tried my hardest. Okay, but are you guys aware that people believe that Shakespeare didn't actually write anything?
Yes. Yes.
Have you heard about this?
Yes. I
I've-
believe they did something on Jenna Marbles about it, or the Jenna Marbles
Yeah.
podcast, but that was forever ago that I listened to it, so.
So
She's not dead.
Yeah,
Just her
yes.
channel is.
Oh, well.
I miss her content.
Well, yeah, I guess her name isn't really Channel Marbles,
Yeah.
so.
Exactly.
Just the channel.
Exactly.
Well, I'm here to teach you guys a little bit more about that.
Thank you. Sorry. Continue.
So, we have the Stratfordians, who are people who believe that Shakespeare really wrote all his work. They are called that because he was from Stratford of Avon. He's also called the Bard of Avon, or just the Bard, because, I don't know, that's the thing they did. And then they had... Look at me, my English major!
He was like,
well,
fucking...
Do you know what a bard is?
Kinda, I know it's in other stuff.
Okay.
Singer-songwriter.
Okay,
Oh,
so
yeah.
in like, because I'm a, okay.
In the video I watched, they made it
Are
sound
you
like it had to do with where he was from.
Okay.
Oh my god, are you a D&D bard?
Okay, not necessarily. I'm aware of what it is. And also, I enjoyed the Netflix adaptation of The Witcher. And I enjoyed the Bard character. He was fucking hilarious. So.
Oh, what's the Bard character? You're always supposed to like the Bard.
But yeah,
He's the fun one.
He's the guy that would go around with a lute and constantly be singing about your travels.
Oh, yeah.
He's the one that goes toss a coin to your Witcher, blah blah blah, like that one.
I remember a bard from, oh my god, never mind, I'm blanking, we're gonna just move on. A bardlatry is people who are obsessed with Shakespeare.
Bardlatry?
Bardlatry. B-O-R, just kidding, B-A-R-D-O-L-A-T-R-Y. So then there are the anti-Straffordians, who are the people who believe that just somebody else wrote all of Shakespeare's work and just put him under the name. So this was originally brought up by John Hart in The Romance of Yachting, written in 1848.
So this has been a conspiracy theory
for a while,
yeah.
like a long time
Okay.
for some reason,
Okay.
but still like
1848.
years, hundreds of years after him,
Interesting.
after Shakespeare. But
Fucking
You
hell.
said 1843?
48.
48. Okay, so in a few years, good old Ziggy will be born.
A few years? You got like 50.
You said 18 what?
48, and he was born in 69.
Yeah, 69.
Alright,
Yeah, under
yeah.
50.
51.
Under 50 years, I'm just saying.
Alright,
Just barely.
what was I saying? Oh yeah. So this guy brought up this, sorry, in this book,
No,
this
you're
guy
good.
brought up the fact that he doesn't think Shakespeare wrote any of his books. And so this is the evidence they have for Shakespeare not writing any of the books.
They
Right.
have evidence? Oh, God.
Okay, part of the people, so this is called a fringe theory because it's not really a theory based off of evidence, it's a theory based off of the lack of evidence. So most
Okay.
of the issues are because of the lack of stuff.
That also makes sense.
So like
Yeah.
like hearing it, it's like okay, I can see like how you came up with that
Mhm.
and stuff like that. It makes
Mhm.
kind of sense.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like,
Because that's how I figured it. I'm like, this dude didn't write this.
it
had to be
feels
a-
like this,
This
right?
has to be a group of people at the time. Like, let's be honest
Like
here.
it's fucking the original Banksy or something.
That is one of the theories. Is
It's a
that
group
of
it's
people?
like a group of people just used him as a pen name.
Because, like, for me, my biggest takeaway with all of this was, like, you really had that much time on your hands. like,
you just had everything.
you had to pay for meals and stuff.
When
like,
you're
what?
pumping out the bangers, you don't need that. Yo, we're still talking about it how many hundreds of years later? Like, fuck, dude.
Yeah.
Well, apparently he had time because he left his wife and kids
Yeah,
to go
that'll
to
do it.
London for a while. He also had no trace of any books or letters, which is part of the reason why they think that he didn't
It was
write
just like
anything.
a pen name.
Oh,
Or
It
something.
was
just
because
sus.
he has no books. He had no books. He had no letters, and he had no original manuscripts of any of the plays or sonnets that he wrote. Right. There
Only
was
the
no.
published?
Yeah, only the published
Oh,
ones.
shit.
There was no
Maybe
record of
this-
schooling, but to be fair, this was 450 years ago, and the school that he would have most likely gone to, all their records have been destroyed.
Okay, that's fair.
But there has never been anyone to come out and say, obviously hundreds of years ago, but no one
Yeah.
ever came out to say
I'm like,
that they went to school with
Yeah,
Shakespeare.
I went to school with Shakespeare.
I would brag about that. I
Shakes.
know.
What's up, Shakes?
I mean,
Be like,
but
that guy?
he's weird, but he's cool, I guess.
I don't know why he wore a neck brace every day, but...
So, another point is that a lot of Shakespeare's work have a lot to do with court politics, foreign countries, and aristocratic sports, which Shakespeare probably would have known nothing about at the time, being that he came His father was originally a glover. He made gloves. Both of his parents were illiterate, and they didn't come from any, like, high standing or anything. So it's very unlikely that he, like, could have known about court politics, known about foreign countries,
Real quick.
known about all this. Yeah.
Throwback from the last episode, but was his father's first name Donald?
Did he have an alias of Childish Gambino?
This was the last episode when we were like, oh, have you ever been a shoemaker?
Oh yeah, like that's so
First name
strange.
Glover.
Glover, yeah.
Her last name Glover, first name Donald.
It's like people were really lazy and that illiterate to just be like, yo, I'm a glover, I'm a shoer, I'm a fucking
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, continue.
chopper.
So not only were his parents illiterate, but his 3 kids were also illiterate. So it's unlikely that he taught them any language or writing. So people are like, okay, if his parents were illiterate, his children were illiterate, it's likely that he is illiterate. So how did he write all these stories?
Ghostwriters are
sonnets and
hell
all
of a
this.
thing.
Yeah.
There were 20 different spellings of his name that before we came with the current spelling that we have of Shakespeare. And there are only 6 known signatures of Shakespeare, and they all look different, and they all look like a 5-year-old wrote them, blindfolded. Like, they look
How do we
weird.
know it's his?
That's a great question. I think they were on the bottom of like the poetries and stuff.
You know what? I just had something funny think into my head, and maybe I just cracked it right now. Maybe I'm an idiot. Who knows? Welcome to the show. But, okay, think about it. Shakespeare. What does a quill look like? Or like a pen.
A feather.
A feather quilling. Oh, what the heck?
So all his signatures were wonky.
That says
they were like-
Efren right there. That's not
Yeah,
Shakespeare.
Yeah, but think about it. What does it look like when you're writing with a pen? Shaking a spear.
Weird.
Oh.
Shakespeare. So, I don't know. I just think that was funny. It's a funny coincidence. I'm just saying.
Oh, the mysteries of old. We may never solve you.
And why do we care?
Some other reasons they thought that Shakespeare didn't actually write any of his plays or anything is because of his last will and testimony, of all things. That is one thing that they discovered that he wrote, and it has been described as unpoetic and plain, which I think is kind of rude to say about someone's will.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna be real honest, they were like, kind of sucked, guy. Like, based on all this stuff you wrote,
did all this?
you did all that, and then
now
no.
this?
No, nothing.
I ain't
You don't
having
want
it,
to
bro.
leave us on a query?
So not only was the will just written poorly, there were no mentions of things that writers at the time would typically put in a will, like books and writings, including 18 of his unpublished plays during the time of his death, which is something that a poet or a writer would typically write into his will. Some famous non-believers include other writers or authors, such as
Jenna Marbles.
Walt Whitman,
Walt Whitman? Oh my god.
Mark Twain, Henry James. Some non-author non-believers were Helen Keller, Sigmund Freud, and Charlie Chaplin. All didn't think Shakespeare wrote his own
Charlie
play.
Chaplin was also a douche. Sorry, Gary. But upon doing research earlier, I found that out also.
Was he also Hitler and no one's told me?
No, he also just pulled a Ziggy and was dating a 16-year-old, got her pregnant, and then married her so that way he wouldn't get in trouble for it. Yeah. And then divorced her as soon as she turned 18.
I didn't like that. That's scary.
Exactly.
Oh my god, bro, what the fuck? It's like, 18's the threshold. Like, oh my god. Oh. Good
And
thing
he did
he's
this,
dead.
Like, he did this like up until his death.
Why?
That is Hollywood.
Hollywood. theater.
Sorry.
No.
Theater. That is so weird that Oliver's had theater. We did not discuss this amongst
Yeah, I know, it
anybody.
was really funny.
Oh,
I was gonna say
shit.
it's funny that you had theater, you had theater, and I had Shakespeare, yeah.
Oh,
It's just all
fuck.
theater.
Wow. The theater episode.
Yeah.
Thespians ahoy!
That's the name of the episode. Thespians ahoy.
Alrighty, well then. Good thing we have it on audio so I can remember later.
Some of the issues with the theory, however, is that there are currently 80 plus possible true authors to Shakespeare.
Isn't one of them like Sir Kevin Bacon or something?
Yes, that's actually my first. It's
Yay!
Francis Bacon, actually.
Francis Bacon. Oh, Kevin
Yeah.
Bacon.
Close, but not quite.
He went
So-
footloose on them damn poems, you know what I'm saying?
It's actually called the Baconin theory.
Bacon and
Baconin theory is that Sir Francis Bacon wrote all of Shakespeare's work. Some of the reasons that people think that authors would use Shakespeare is because using Shakespeare would avoid criticism on themselves. A big one for Sir Bacon was to be able to write to the common folk and not get hate for it, basically. And they often wanted to speak on political issues without any, retaliations or getting hate from the queen or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, so kind of like a...
It's an amnesty thing.
International
Super spy!
Super spy!
So they were just trying to avoid a lot of stuff. So the big theory was Sir Francis Bacon. However, he was very much a science guy, so they questioned that. They questioned why he would even want to do that and get into writing. Then we have Edward de Vere, who is another author who people believe just wrote more work under Shakespeare's name. The problem with that one, though, is that he died 12 years before the last Shakespeare sonnet/play came out. Like,
Have
so
you
there
read
were
his will?
I have not. I should look into that, however. See
we may have
what that's
solved this
like.
yet.
And then we have Christopher Marlowe, which is the Marlovian theory, because they're really original with these names.
Well, I mean, last week's was the Z, then whatever, how many characters was. I mean, nah.
Originality is a construct.
I think it's more of just like how can we make this stick and like be as simple to explain as possible.
So with him, they believe it's him because a lot of the lines from certain plays match up or are very close to similar. Like the Romeo and Juliet balcony scene, there's almost a scene identical to that in one of his actual plays. So they think that it's him. But there's so many ways to disprove it. There's, again, 80 plus other possibilities currently out in the world. And a lot of people believe it and a lot of people don't believe it. But
I believe it, personally. I will be a believer.
I just got into it. At first I was really into it, then I heard some people talk more about it, and once I heard the 80 plus possible ones, I'm like, okay, we need a little more of a concise.
If we have this much evidence proving it probably wasn't him, we just don't know who it is. Let's go with that.
Yeah.
Let's have at least this sense of mind. I mean, let's all be at least on this page.
So yeah, now I'm kind of mad that I have to take I took a whole class about him. There's a whole class!
I mean...
As an English major, they get to take on Shakespeare, and now I'm learning that he might have not even been
a thing,
a real dude in a way.
Fuck
or he's
hell.
a real dude, but not.
But not yet. Well, I know that he was a peasant.
Yeah,
So-
he existed.
He existed. He was a person. It's just...
Also, he married Anne Hathaway. His wife was named Anne Hathaway, and Anne Hathaway's current husband looks like William Shakespeare. So,
What if he's like a time traveler?
there we go. Let's just hope
the
that...
X-Files theme song comes in? Oh, are you gonna get the soundboard sometime soon?
Oh yeah, I just gotta figure out how to set up the MIDI and stuff.
Ayo, we're gonna get a soundboard. Be
Yeah.
prepared for
Okay.
that. We're gonna abuse the shit out of it.
It's gonna be obnoxious as fuck.
Exactly as it should be.
Exactly.
It's-
You're welcome, Gary.
Woo! And everybody else.
But mainly Gary.
Yeah.
Gary.
be a Gary button.
Gary.
He's definitely gonna bring it up tomorrow's session.
Very good. As you should.
Oh boy. Anyhow. Oh. Any more facts?
No, that's all I got
Great.
on the
Oh.
Shakespeare's being fake.
Well, very well done. I
More like
appreciate
fake spears, am I right? I would have gotten a tomato to the head.
Yeah, you would have lived there, girl. How fast would it have been going?
Mach 3 at least. Fuck. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what we call a callback.
Alright, meme of the week.
Meme of the week.
Meme of the week. I remembered this time.
I remembered it's 3 and not 2.
Oh boy. I have 3.
Oh, damn.
How many do you have?
I have just one.
Just one? Angela, how many do you have?
Hold up.
Actually, I might have more. Hold on. Actually,
I was gonna say,
I have like 3, I think.
Okay, I just have 2.
Okay, that's fine. That works. Okay, shall I go first? Because
Let's go backwards.
backwards? Okay, that's fine. Angela?
Am I showing all of them or doing
Yeah,
Yes.
you show all
Okay.
of them, yeah.
So, we'll start with this one. It's been going around Twitter a lot, so I hope everyone's seen it. But it is a picture of a front lawn, and you know how people do like graduation stuff and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So this one says divorced. We also have. Sorry, it actually technically says divorced as fuck.
Yes,
Oh.
We have mission
Classy.
complete. I'm done. Like little champagne bottles, jackpot. Wild and free. We got a motorcycle. Very happy energy.
Nice.
I'm
I'm
really
good.
enjoying
I
it.
feel good for that person.
Like,
Yeah.
it's a
I'm very
kid's
happy for
birthday
them.
party, but, you know.
Yeah, it's very
We
cute.
got the
Birthday party
balloons.
like letters.
Yeah.
But
really
divorce.
Yeah, they're like balloon
Sarah
letters.
Shaw would be very happy.
Exactly. We gotta show this to her. Shout out to Sarah, by the way. She's awesome.
She's awesome. She really is. I enjoy her content very much so.
Me too. I've followed her since Vine. I'm like, good job. Good job.
You done good, kid.
Making good shit out there. Keep it up.
My second one is a Twitter post from Korn.
The band?
No. It's at SNUURID. Snurd. It says, quotations, every day I'm suffering, or whatever LMFAO said. I feel like that really resonates with me, and I just feel it in my soul.
Yes.
Oh, and it's a picture of, I believe, either Dwayne The Rock Johnson fused with Joe Biden and,
Not
like,
quite.
elongated.
So we have a teacher. What's so funny? Me. Nothing. My brain. Dwayne the Cock Johnson.
I hate it.
And it is Dwayne the Rock Johnson in the cartoon shape of a penis. And last but not least, I just really want everyone to hear this sound. It is Adam Sandler at a golf course, it looks like. And he's just like crouching down in front of the camera, but this is the sound. One more time, a little bit louder for everyone else.
Why does it sound like Peter Griffin?
I don't know, but I love
That's
it.
exactly it.
That's Peter Griffin.
Shout out Angelo for sending me that. I'll give you credit.
Nice. Alright, now that we have Angela on, we should have Angelo on, because he is going to be writing our intro jingle, so I think just as a thank you.
And then we should have them both on at the same time. And
Yeah,
it'd
it'd
get
be
confusing
really
as
confusing.
fuck.
Oh no, there was a period of time where, for some reason, everyone was referring to the both of us as Ange. And I was like, you made the situation worse. Like, it already wasn't hard.
It wasn't that bad. It was just, we had to realize if it was Angela with an A, with a capital A, or Angela with a or Angela with a capital A, or Angela lowercase
Okay,
a.
That's still just as confusing. Like, to a password computer, maybe. But, like, not to...
In an actual conversation.
I just always turned my head and prayed for the best.
Exactly. That's lazier on everyone else, but, like, extra hard on both of you. I'm sorry.
Is it my turn?
Yeah,
Yes.
Okay, cool. I think you guys have both seen this one, but I find it funny every time. And it says, pretend to eat something and just wait for it. And then A little husky head pops up over the side of the couch, and he just goes, "Boop, I hear you."
I hear snack.
Dogs are ruthless.
Yes, they're aware. Oh my god, Sophie.
Yeah, shout out Sophie.
Sophie, our bulldog. Oh my god, she will not get up for anything unless it involves food.
Me too.
Yeah. She's on the right path.
This one, it says, my friend and I explaining that the ocean is a huge bowl of soup since it contains meat, salt, and veggies. The school lunch lady.
Oh my god.
Well, look at the image. Look at the image.
It's from, what was it?
I believe it's not Treasure Planet, it's...
Treasure Island?
Treasure Island?
Mm-hmm. They recently put it on Disney Plus. I know that.
Yes, it's one of those. And last but not least, a Lego brick can withstand 950 pounds of force before breaking. And then there's this WWE image, and it's a guy with a with the
Caption?
The caption, thank you. What is the... I don't know. Caption, Legos, and then the label logo, Legos, and then behind him is another guy coming up behind him, and it says "Yo Mama."
For those of you who are confused by that, it was implying that Yo Mama can break a Lego brick.
Classic Yo Mama joke. Haven't heard one in a long time.
Right?
Always wonderful to see. Always wonderful to see.
Wonderful times. Anyway,
And that
Zach,
was...
your turn.
Alright. Mine's dumb. It's Matterwellen.
Oh no, it's watermelon, but
Inside Out.
I hate it. I don't like it.
It has a pink rind and a green inside.
Mm-mm.
I would be physically sick looking at that in person.
I'm good. Thank you.
That's from Boys Who Can Cook. Shout out to Boys Who Can Cook on Instagram. Always sending the bangers. And so we were playing Jetpack Unicorn the other night, and Molly mentioned, like, have you ever, like, it was a beekeeping thing or whatever. It was a question, which is worse, grumpy skunk breeder or beekeeper without any equipment? And you said, you've never seen a queen bee. You don't know what it looks like. Can you all guess what this is?
Is that a queen bee?
Egg.
No.
What?
Yeah. It's a fucking queen bee egg.
Oh, that's the... Oh, a new queen has been born.
Oh my god.
Long live her legacy.
Yeah, so I thought I'd just share that with y'all because I've never seen a queen bee egg before. I was
Yeah,
like,
that was weird.
I thought they
I've
just
never
exist.
seen a bee egg, period.
That just felt uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I felt like I witnessed something I shouldn't witness.
They're generally larvae, but nah, that one's a whole ass... Damn.
Yeah.
Alright.
Well,
Yeah.
that was this week's episode.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks for
for
joining.
having me.
Oh, thanks for
Oh
coming
yeah, thanks
on.
for coming on, Angela. I appreciate it.
It was a lot of fun.
We'll see if Gary likes it.
Yeah, we need the Gary seal
Yeah.
seal of approval
Oh, yes.
in order to publish these. So, you know.
I like how we also publish these before we... we publish them and then I send it to him. So I like the fact that we have to get the seal of approval after we publish it.
Well, you know, it's you know, shoot first, ask questions later.
Exactly.
Kind of thing, you
So
know.
if you ever see a video go down real quick, you know what
You know
happened.
what happened.
Yeah, Gary
got
like,
to it.
mm.
Gary said, nah, you've mentioned my names too many times.
Gary.
And that's been Two Halves of a Whole Idiot. I'm Molly.
I'm Zach.
I am Angela, but I'm not going to be here all the time.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's alarming.
All right.
I'm no longer. Okay, bye.
Good night.